What is up, gamers? My name is Avasi, and welcome to the weekly recap for Final Fantasy XIV Part 3. As a reminder, in this video, we'll be going over the important news for Final Fantasy XIV that happened this week, as well as a short discussion on things to do before the patch. So without further ado, let's get right into it. There's a few things that I strongly believe that everyone should do before going to the next patch, as well as some ideas for those who are wanting to make a small fortune when the patch goes live. So you'll have just until the weekend to prepare. Since we will be receiving a new tombstone as well as crafting gear and new recipes, it may be a fantastic idea to cap up on both of your astronomy and aphorism tone, as you will be able to exchange the previously capped astronomy tones in for new crafting materials. Materials which we'll be selling for a lot in the next coming weeks. But if you'd like to make some money quickly, selling them the first day would be absolutely ideal. Secondly, materia. I'm sure that if you've been gearing up alts recently, you may have seen a huge surge in materia prices. This is in no doubt because everyone is starting to stockpile materia to pentimount the new crafted sets. So if you'd like to make a huge amount of gil either at the start or just before patch 6.2, it may be a great idea to farm up on some material and put it up on the auction house soon. And for those gatherers and crafters out there, the next patch will be increasing the amount of gathering and crafting scripts they can carry from 2,000 all the way up to 4,000, as well as adding new master recipes and I believe folklore. So I do believe that it would be a great idea for you to stockpile some collectibles and scripts going to the next patch if you like to maximize the amount of gil and crafts they can make going into the next update, and of course cap your tombstones as well. Lastly, before the patch goes live, you want to make sure that you fully completed the 6.1 story quests, which you'll be able to tell just simply by looking at the top left of your screen. And if you want to do Pandemonium, also make sure that you finish the quest Who Wards the Warders, which will require you to complete the Pandemonium Floor 4 on normal mode. And just a quick reminder, if you haven't finished the Moonfire Fair event, do so as soon as possible, as it'll be going away next week on August 26th. This 2-quest event takes a total of maybe about 40 minutes to complete and around 5 minutes if you skip all the cutscenes and the jumping puzzle. Again, the starting quest for this event begins in Limsa Lominsa Upper Decks at the Aft Castle, so complete it while you still can. And on that same note, just this morning you received news about the Rising event for this year. For those who are new to the game, the Rising is a yearly event that happens every anniversary of Final Fantasy XIV. It usually contains a cosmetic and sometimes even housing decorations, and this time it's no different. Typically, these events are simply for the developers to show their appreciation for the players, making references to certain community events, as well as Yoshi P appearing in the game itself to personally thank the players. This year, we'll be receiving a wind-up Emet-Selch minion, which I'm sure those who have played through Shadowbringers will simply adore. Assuming you didn't skip the story, of course. I know who you are. This event begins on August 27th and will start in Ul'dah. The quest is called Newfound Journey, and you'll have to be at least level 15 to experience this event. And of course, you have until September 12th to finish the event, so there's no rush to complete it. With all of that out of the way, let's jump right into a brief overview of the patch notes that were released this morning. Obviously, we're getting new story quests, raid quests, island sanctuary, but there's a few more things that weren't in the live letter that are simply mentioned here. Something to note is the mention of new gemstone items being added, giving people even more of a reason to farm fates. I can only assume that this will be tied to the Titania wings that we saw in the live letter, but who knows. And of course, we'll be receiving new glamour items which can be crafted with the new materials that will be added from the treasure map dungeon Excitatron 6000. For those of you who got a house last patch, congrats! You can now choose to pay back your gil to a vendor within the Imperium. Again, this is completely optional, but it's more good faith, you know? And of course, for those who do have a house, more items will be added from the furnishing design contest. I can't really comment on what's new outside of this bamboo wall, as I myself am not too crazy about housing, but I'm sure that there are some players that will absolutely love these new additions. And now, for what everyone has been waiting for, Island Sanctuary will be coming out in just a few days of me recording this, and may even be out at the very time of you watching this video. You'll need to complete the final main quest of the expansion Endwalker in order to accept the quest for Island Sanctuary, which does start in Old Sharlayan. You can find this quest marked as level 1 from Clueless Crier, and I can only assume that this NPC will be found by the port. As a reminder, you can craft and gather on Island Sanctuary, but you do not need to have any crafters or gatherers leveled up for this content. The progression system is entirely separate from the outside world. In fact, it appears to be a quest-based progression making mention of visions that will appear in your objective list, and that additional goals and features will be available as you complete them. Of course, there are a few modes that are unique to this island, such as gathering, planting, watering, and whatever the fuck this is. Point is, you have lots of unique stuff they can only do on the island. You'll be able to level up your island as well as earn unique currencies for the island that you can purchase glamours, pets, and minions with. Oh, and mounts. That should be obvious. You can get mounts from Ding Island Sanctuary. And again, you'll be able to release your minions on the island, up to 40 of them in fact. Sadly, it is limited to one of each, so you can't just have 40 Sadus walking on your island. This will cause me immense emotional pain. As for the buildings here, you have your cabin, which will serve as a merchant spot as well as allow you to play music throughout your island. We have the workshop as well, which will allow you to craft items. Lastly, we have the granary, which will allow you to send out mammoths to automatically gather items for you every so often. And some big news for island sanctuaries. You'll be able to visit your friends and guildies' islands, and up to 16 players may be on an island at once. This will be nice to hang out, show off minions, and have glamour contests, wink wink. And if you're a shy player, you will have the ability to turn off visitors completely. I do wonder how much customization we will actually have on the island though, as currently it looks like everyone will have the same buildings, and there really isn't that much that looks like you can change. One thing that I do personally wish that they will add though is trophies, something either tied to achievements or by obtaining a trophy by exchanging a totem, or something similar. I know that we have the extreme trophies, however not everyone has a house, and those really aren't all too flashy. I'm talking about, say, clearing Dragonsong Ultimate and being able to place King Thornton's sword and cape on your island, something like that. We'll be getting updates every other patch, so I do hope that we do see something like that in the future. All we can really do is hope though. We will also be getting a new mount to accompany the Sephiroth Unreal Trial, a green glowing Heavensward bird? Wait, haven't we seen something like this already? Oh no, that one had armor and feather effects. This one doesn't have armor. But instead, it does have shiny effects. That's super unique, right? In all seriousness, no, I do like how this bird looks. It is a little bit of a shame that it is a reskin, as the other mounts are much more cool in my opinion. Something that everyone has been awaiting, and some people have even been banned for this. We are finally receiving updates to the UI, including, get this, enlarging the cooldown numbers for your cooldowns. You can even put them in the middle. It's surprising it took them this long, but it is a very much welcome change. And for those PvP players and glamour enjoyers, I've got some big news. Next series, they really gotta change the name of that by the way, of PvP rewards will be releasing alongside the patch. And the new rewards do certainly look interesting. This time, instead of a badass glamour, as our final reward, we'll be getting another boring Drake. Yeah, I know the mounts this patch do look a little bit dismal, but let's just hope that the next patch is even better, yeah? And to accompany the return of Rival Wings, for levels 15 and 16 of the pass, we will be receiving a blue and red Cruise Chaser minion. Honestly, these are a pretty cool addition, and for those who haven't done Rival Wings and don't know what these look like, oh boy, you'll find out soon enough. The rest of the patch notes just go over some system changes, the new minions and mounts that we'll be receiving, and a few bug fixes. And finally, they do make mention of some glamour that is being gender unlocked, thankfully. Nothing really all too special, but if you are interested in the full patch notes, they will be in the description just for you. And with all that, we're finally done. Thank you so much if you made it this far, it really does mean a lot. And if you'd like to help out, a like really does go a long way. But I won't eat up any more of your time. This has been the weekly recap of Final Fantasy XIV. I've been Avasi, and I am out.